Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Bridgett. Now, I promise to always give you information, communication, and some strategies that you can execute right away. So today, I am just jumping out of my seat for today's guest. She's my fashion sister, amazing stylist. And she is just an all-around amazing woman. So I'm so happy tonight to have connected with me, Liz Everett. Liz, welcome to the show, Liz.
Hello, everyone. So excited to meet everybody. Hello to all the style mavens and fashion fabbies out there.
Liz, I'm so happy to have you here. You know, we've chatted before on the podcast, but actually having this, this visual, this, being for people to be able to see you, see all this fabulousness, see this gorgeousness. So happy to have you here. So Liz, this is why I had you on. So you started already. Listen, y'all, please like this video, comment, be ready to ask questions, share this video. We're going to have some fun. Liz, first of all, I'm cracking up because I'm looking at your name across the screen. It says Dr. Liz Everett. Okay?
I was like, is this prophetical? Is this prophetic? I receive it in the name of Jesus. I mean,
listen, we out to a good start already. Okay,
Dr. Fashion. I'm here for it.
Liz, you become the doctor of fashion. All
right. Welcome to my office hours.
So Liz, for my Coffee with Bridgett viewers and my CEOs, which is my community, because I believe you are the chief executive officer of your own life, tell my audience a little bit about you, who you are, and what makes you so awesome and fabulous.
Well, I was born in a small town in Florida. I immediately came out in red high heels, carrying a red bag. I was reading Vogue magazine from birth. I literally was in a really tiny town in Florida at 5 years old, begging my mom for Vogue magazine. And really, it was because my name is Elizabeth, and everyone called me Elizabeth Taylor. I was really from everyone. I always would go through everyone's closets. We'd go to visit one of my mom's friends, and I was like a toddler organizing closets, pulling things out. It should have been very clear what I was going to go on to do, type of thing. And so it's just a really interesting journey from being the small town girl. My dad was a pastor and a cowboy, and my mom was a school teacher. And, I just been a fashion lover since birth. My idols were Diana Ross and Tina Turner, Dolly Parton. In pre-K, when all the other little kids were crayons and queens and all these things, your girl right here was Elizabeth Taylor. Who has, my mom always likes to say, what mom dresses up her 4-year-old divorcee? I was practicing the White Diamonds ads, where she would I on the side of the pool and be like, these are for luck, white diamonds. The one specifically with Michael Jackson was my favorite because I was clearly trying to have my own Copacabana moment at 5. We had a house that had an extra room, and that was my play area. But unlike other children I did play with Barbies, but I listened to the Barry Manilow record and Carole King, and I was trying to create my Vegas show. I was practicing my kicks.
Oh, you was getting your show.
Listen, and she's a show today. She's an experience,
I love all of this. So Liz, I know I've said this to you before, but I wanted to say it publicly to you. How much did I appreciate you? Because when I was really taking this next level of faith, this next leap to really advancing my brand and really moving out into these different directions. And when I was looking for a publicist, when I was preparing myself to go to New York Fashion Week, I reached out to you. And I strictly remember you telling me that you are good enough and you have what it takes. And that moment is etched in my head. And it's because of you that I have this amazing publicist now. It's all because of you, the seed that you've sown. And it's because of you that I felt comfortable, when we went to the shows in New York Fashion Week, because at first I was nervous,
Yeah, I think everyone's nervous in the beginning.
So I appreciate you. And I just wanted you to know that, you've sowed seeds in my life, and I celebrate you and I appreciate you.
Well,
That's why I had to have you on here.
Well, I'm so grateful, honestly. I was a scared little girl in the corner when I first started going. I just knew that I didn't have all. It takes a minute to kind of get your bearings and figure out, how everything goes. And I just promised myself that I would never be the mean girls, that I first met type of thing. I know mean girl rules. I was a cheerleader, back in the day. I did pageants. I know how all of that works. You know what I mean? But I promised myself that I would not be that person for other people. You know what I mean? I would know how the game went and help other people like get into the game because there's room for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I appreciate you. So Liz, you mentioned a little bit about pageants. Okay, let's take a little detour and talk about pageantry. Okay,
Yes, darling.
pageantry. All right. So Liz, walk us through how you really started getting into pageants and where was your confidence level for you to actually start doing pageants. So tonight I really want to focus on making sure that my listeners understand the level of confidence that's needed. So talk us through that.
Well, confidence is about buying into yourself. You know what I mean? It's about personal integrity with yourself. A lot of times we think about integrity in business, integrity in, delivery to our clients and customers, but we often don't think about integrity and delivery to ourselves. Like, what is it that I delivered to myself? And so this morning, as I was getting a client ready, we were watching Terry Savelle Foy. I don't know if you watch her, but every morning I watch a Terry video. I say a Terry video a day keeps the doctor away. And she was just talking about self-confidence from a place of like, it's what you can deliver to yourself and through yourself. So for me, confidence is all about that, So when I started out, I think I was in 8th grade, and it actually was my cheerleading coach who was like, hey, I think you should do the local pageant type of thing, And I went home and told my mom, and my mom was like, what? You want to what? Because, I was a cheerleader and an athlete. I wasn't I was super girly. I took dance class and all that kind of stuff, but my mom just didn't have any experience with it. Also, to my mom's recollection and to my recollection at the moment, there had never been any brown winners, And so my mom was like, I don't really know what to tell you, I guess so, but I just need you to be prepared for that. They may not want you to win because you don't look like the other girls, but also we're new to this type of thing. And so I didn't win on my first try, but on my third try, so I was like second runner up and then first runner up and then I won type of thing. But it was such a great journey for me because I really had the opportunity to say, I think it was the onstage question. Let me step back for a minute. What sold my mom was the onstage question. She was like, you do really well speaking in front of people. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And if you let me do it again, I promise, Mom, I promise I will practice every single day. And, so here's me, I'm writing my own lists. I'm, watching tapes and videos. And I've just always been that kind of person, a student of everything that I do. And, I'm always trying to improve myself and get better. And I have pageantry to actually thank for that because it showed me what that progress could look like. And I'm really blessed because in what I do now, it also taught me early branding, right? So early, I learned how to brand yourself to a program or to a mindset, to a thought process. The Miss America organization taught me a lot. Through them, I feel like I learned a lot about how to how to create your identity, so your personal brand within a brand, right? Which is a very complex thought process. And even now when I'm dressing my clients, my thought process is, are we a brand separately? Are we a brand within a brand? Is this our personal brand within the business brand? And when you have clients that are on all different levels, it's really imperative, especially now, to think about it from a visual branding standpoint. So I am so grateful to pageantry because before I started studying branding in 2011, I really was able to start to have a life experience of studying the visual brand from an experience of how to deliver, how to help people walk out that which they do, whether it's their, profession, whether it's a niche market that they're trying to get into, whether it's just a fun photo shoot that they want to do with their family, you know. And also I think pageantry for helping me like be okay with taking it too far.
Yes.
You know, like I don't mind taking it there. Glamour is one of my signatures. I have been that way from birth. And I always think it's really important to think back to your 5-year-old self, because your 5-year-old self is the truest version of who you ever were. Right. And so that 5-year-old and 4-year-old self dreamed really, really big, didn't understand the laws of gravity, didn't understand the scars that would come from other people's judgments, wasn't limited by other people. And so even when I get dressed, I dress to make my 5-year-old self happy. If she is not jumping up and down like, oh my gosh, look at the rhinestones and look at the whatever, then it's not my flavor. It's not my vibe. I have a picture of my 5-year-old self with my mom's pantyhose on my head to make my Rapunzel ponytail, much like today. I didn't know about ponytails at that moment. And I'm sure that synthetic ponytails were not that vibe then, you know what I mean? Like these natural hair ones. But anyway, so, you know, and I had on like a pink members only zip up jacket and a big floral dress. And I was sitting on top of one of the versions of that photo. I'm sitting on top of my dad's igloo cooler because I wanted the dress to like spread out. And I dressed to make her happy because that's the truest version of who I am. I was never supposed to look like anybody else. I was never supposed to fit in, and neither was anybody else that I know, but we allow these compacted and compiled versions and visions of who we're supposed to be, you know, curate a thought process on everything from the fabrics to the textures to the jobs that we should have, you know, all of those things. And the real truth is, what did God say about you? You know, when you were born, and the moment that you were born, the moment that he breathed breath and air into your body, the only thing that remains is what God said about you. That's the only true thing. And so all of his classifications for you, they're the only classifications that matter. You know, the size, the scale, all the rest of that stuff is just foolishness that everybody else made up. All it is a suggestion for what'll fit you right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Shanti. Hey, Dina. Dina said that's good. So I want to go back to a couple of things that you said. First thing is talking about confidence and about buying into yourself. And I am an avid believer that you have to buy into yourself and you have to sit with yourself, because if you don't sit with yourself, you never really find out who your authentic self is. So, and I believe that, you know, even with everything that you said, really identifying your personal brand, you know, what you like, what you don't like, what makes you happy, what makes you cry, what contributes to who you are. And I think that's important. I mean, I also think that it's important when it comes to your confidence, be okay with you and your story, because everybody's journey is not the same. And once you are okay with you, okay with your story, then you show up as your authentic self. So I want to say to everybody that's watching us tonight, own your story. Like Liz said, buy into yourself, own your story, own who you are. That does not determine your outcome, but own it. And actually owning your story will help you create a new outcome.
100%.
I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer of that. Firm believer of that. So this confidence journey, because I want to walk everybody through this confidence journey, you know, buying into yourself. And I love how you said going back to your 5-year-old self, because if we all really take a moment to think back, you know, when we were 4 and 5 years old, we had no cares in the world. Every day was amazing. Okay. You had no bills. All you had to do, was go to school, pre-K or whatever, and just live. That's it.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you buying into yourself is not about ego.
Right.
Buying into yourself is about understanding your design. Everything that you're running from is exactly what you need. If you're running from the fact,
put in the comments, everything that you're running from, exactly what you need.
Everything that you're running from is exactly what you need. Everything that you don't like about yourself and that you try to hide from others, those are the imperative pieces of your brand, right? Like I cannot help that I'm 6'3" in heels, right? I'm 5'10" flat-footed. What am I going to do? Bow down and beg somebody to not notice? No, if they're going to stare, you better make it worth their while. Like, it's up to you what you want to do with you. And so to allow anyone else to define who you are or how you operate that. Now, along the way, you want to hire brilliant experts that are going to help you and push you, and who are going to make you, who are going to push you to that brink, right? It's not uncommon for me to be doing someone's closet and them to be crying in the closet, right? Because every woman and every man, we hide our secrets in our closet. We hide our flaws in our closet.
Yes.
Yes, we have emotional attachments to clothes that need to go. You're holding on to size 14 jeans or 6 jeans. And that was 2 kids ago and 10 years ago. Sis, let it go. Listen, when you get back down to that size, because I know why you're holding on to them, right, boo? Somebody out there, this is for you, boo boo. I love you, but I'm giving you permission. Let it go. If God gave you the money the first time to buy a nice wardrobe, guess what? You start investing in you and you watch that thing will prosper. Listen, a farmer has to plant the seed in order for the harvest to grow. If you don't plant that seed of love within yourself, stop waiting for 10 pounds from now. Stop waiting for a new job. Stop waiting for $10 more in your salary. Stop. What are you waiting on, honey? If you don't sow into you right now, your harvest will be delayed, and that's on you. You can't blame anybody else or anything else for a delayed harvest. That is because you did not sow into yourself in an appropriate season. Stop reading about Esther. Perhaps I was born for such a time as this. And then you have the nerve and the audacity to not reign as the queen that you are. Girl, you are fabulous. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't you dare back down from being who you are. Honey, you see clothes. You know what I see? Adornment for a queen. And I dare you to do anything else in your closet other than reign as a queen every day in your home, in your life, in your business, in your mind. Your life is a ministry. You are given this life and every breath in your body to be the utmost. And it is against every principle in my being for you to be anything other than that. And guess what? It's against everything in your being too. That's why you read every self-help book and you're trying to find a video every morning. So into yourself, use your morning. Then when you choose your clothing, think to myself, perhaps I was born for such a time as this. And this is this day right now, not 10 pounds from now, not 10 minutes from now, not 2 children from now. There's no right marriage, no right amount in your bank account, no right car. Sis, you're breathing now. Tomorrow is not promised. Have you not just gone through a quarantine and a whole COVID? Get up in your closet, start throwing some stuff away, sis. I'm not waiting on you.
And not just your physical closet, but your spiritual closet.
Come on, your whole life.
Listen, this is the second week in a row, Liz. I have to tell you. So last week, Elliot Carlisle was on here.
Well, you know, my boy drops knowledge. You know, my boy
has an exchange last week, and I see that power exchange happening again tonight. I'm looking at the comments. People are saying, "Okay, this was for me. I needed to be here. This is excellent." And you're right. Get up in your closet, and we need to do a purge internally, not just your physical closet, because you can't dress up a mess.
No,
so we need to get all of this stuff up.
That's that term of putting lipstick on a pig.
Yes.
Stop it. Guess what? I know a lot of people. Listen, I got clients with all the money. Guess what? The truth is, listen, I got clients with little money, big money, all the money. Same thing is the truth. The Gucci label is not going to get it for you if we're not wearing it right and we don't feel good in our clothes, right?
Exactly right.
Self-improvement and loving ourselves. The way that we become confident is we work on self. Now, I will say for me, the way that I become confident and stay confident. Now, listen, I'm not totally confident all the time. Anybody who tells you that is lying and has an ego the size of Texas 5 times. Okay. Because
the ego the size of Texas 5 times.
Listen, come on now. If you cannot help anybody until you can get vulnerable, right?
Absolutely.
Until I can say to you, I love my thighs. I hate my stomach. The back of my arms is not the T, sis. Like, that's not it. But my shoulders, this clavicle, and this chin, hello, what? You have to train yourself to get in that mirror and find 3 things that you love. And I will guarantee you the first 10 times you do it, it's excruciating because we have allowed society and movies to create this like a narrative in our head of never enough. And you're still going to not feel enough on some days. That's horrible enough. But you have to do some mirror work and some mirror training and get in that mirror and reverse that curse, reverse that mindset of not enough and start saying, I'm going to pick out something that I love in my face. I'm going to know 2 things that I love about my face. I'm going to know 2 things, 2 advantages, right? For me, my shoulders were always seen as a disadvantage. Guess what? Mama wears many layered necklaces and really bomb, like big collars and stuff. Why? Because these shoulders can handle it. What? You know,
I love it. Are
like,
y'all getting this? This is so good. Are y'all getting this? Hey, Sean Sams. So, Sean, I'm so glad you're on here. So, Liz, every other Monday, I'm on 100.3 R&B here in Philly.
cool.
I'm on the segment with Mina Say What called Well Connected. So I have to shout out 100.3 R&B. So, listen, Liz, let me tell you something. This power exchange tonight, we're just getting started, okay? We're going to help everybody tonight with this confidence journey. So, even with that, before we get to our next topic, so Liz, during the quarantine, a lot of people are really struggling because of the fact that now being quarantined, they feel isolated. They are struggling with the point that now, okay, so I can't really go out and do the things I used to do. I'm not in the same places that I used to be. So now I got to become creative. And I know for me, quarantine has caused me to be creative on so many different levels. But I'm like you, I'm a whole party by myself and I like me. And I enjoy my own company, honey. One night I dressed up, I put on a full gown, honey, and cooked.
Come on.
I sat down with my candles, okay?
Yes, Dynasty. Come on.
I enjoyed myself, okay? Listen, honey.
I'm here for it.
Some days I want to put on a gown. Some days I want to put on a business suit to walk around the house in. You know, you never know. But I'm about creating that experience. And I refuse to allow what's going on outside in the world to stop me from moving forward mentally, spiritually, or physically. So let's talk to those people who feel isolated. You know, their confidence level is teeter-tottering. They're like isolated. You know, I'm not with my girls because, you know, sometimes, you know, us girls, we can hype each other up. You know, we can, you know, listen, I got a group I call my prayer bosses. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I only hang with hype queens. Like if we don't hype each other up, then I gotta let it go. We can be friends, but we're not going to be like, hype, you know, like you got to hang with hype queens because
you got to get you some hype queens and some prayer bosses, y'all.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure in other places to not be your fullest, truest self. Yep. And not be the most valuable version of yourself. And it's a lot of times you find that everyone around you will fight this like accepted like norm of who you are. So as you try to elevate and work and push and go to this next level. And the thing is too, like we fight ourselves. Like I fight myself on that next level, you know, if I'm just being honest about me. So you have to stay around people who are going to push and elevate and help you. And then who can, you know, you get to fill each other's cup. You know what I mean? Like it's an imperative portion.
You can exchange, like the power exchange.
Yes.
To. You gotta have a power exchange.
Yes.
Because if you are not around someone who can help you, not, you know, there comes a time when you have to be vulnerable and naked and be okay with being that way around your support system and your support team. And I had to learn a valuable lesson about that in the past few days. The moment that I really let myself be vulnerable about the people that I knew loved and supported me, that is the moment true revelation came. Yes. And that is the moment I got a confidence booster.
Yeah. Well, and I will say,
I'll pause for a minute to give you a confidence booster.
I recently had a very similar experience because, you know, I always feel like I shouldn't need any help. I shouldn't need, you know, this. I should always be X, Y, Z, you know, whatever. Right. But the truth is, the blessing is in being able to allow others to be a blessing to you as you are to them. You know, the Holy Spirit showed me this happening, right? Kind of like a motor. So if there's a constant exchange, then everything is working right. You know what I mean? I can pour some coffee into your cup. You can pour some coffee over into mine. Now we never don't have some, right? Somebody else will come over with a full pot. Hey, I was just thinking about you, right? But when all you do is accept, it's just this. And now we have a clog and we can't flow. Right? So it's all about that flow. Love works the same way. Joy works the same way. The fruit of the Spirit works the same way. Gift of the Spirit works the same way. And so we really have to think about ourselves, even when it comes to confidence, finding your vulnerability to be your strength. Like that was the hardest thing. It took me probably, I would say a couple of years, some good therapy and a lot of Jesus, right?
I just got that lesson the past few days. It was a struggle. And I know some of my prayer bosses are on here now because they had to get me all the way together, Liz.
You block other people's blessings by not allowing them.
I got it now. It took me a minute, but I got it now.
Yeah.
I got it now.
Yeah.
And, you know, people like us who are strong, and I'm one of those people that, you know, I'm going to show up confident even when I'm hurting on the inside. I'm going to show up confident even when I'm broken.
The show must go on.
Yes, I'm going to show up confident even when I know all hell is breaking loose and everything is falling apart. But I'll never share that. But I have learned in these past few days, the moment that you share that, not only do you get help, but you help somebody else.
Right.
And that has been a valuable life lesson for me. So my confidence has been boosted, and I'm excited about what's next.
Yes, I agree. And it's such an imperative lesson. Like one of the reasons that I stay in therapy is because I understand that I cannot help anyone if I cannot be
therapy
vulnerable.
is not a bad thing, y'all.
No,
Therapy
ma'am.
is good.
And the reason that I talk about it openly is because I want people to know that it is okay. I have a lot of Jesus and a lot of therapy, right? Dr. John, my therapist, you know, he's a minister as well, but he is a full-on like psychologist. You know what I mean? I didn't take any chances. I'm also an artist, right? I used to suffer from severe depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. I've had to leave New York Fashion Week shows before because I was having a panic attack. I've struggled with bulimia from like 7th grade to about 23 years old. I tried to kill myself like 3 or 4 times before
Liz,
25.
you are helping the people
Like,
tonight, okay?
I have no problem talking about it because, you know, all of those moments that I thought the better place was to kill myself and to lose my life and to not, okay, all of those times the enemy knew who I was and he knew what I was coming to do. Right. And so I keep myself in check. I keep myself around cup fillers. I don't play with meat at all. I go every other week, no matter what. I have constant contact with my pastor. You know, listen, being a believer doesn't mean I sit in the corner. Being a believer means that I am above and not beneath. And because I am above and not beneath, because I'm always in my discomfort zone, because I believe in the Jabez prayer, because I've read that book 7 times now, because I understand what it was for Jabez to be on his knees and on his face before the Lord saying, increase my territory, but help me not to cause harm. I can't cause harm to me or the people that I love, right?
Dina said therapy is lit. Hey, Dina and Tanya.
Therapy is lit. You know what I mean? Like, and we can't help each other if we can't be vulnerable. Like, you can get out there and try to be like, boss babe, girl boss all day. I see you, sis. That's cute. What you doing to help people? You know what I mean? What you doing to help yourself? What are you? We have to think of ourselves in this moment as I'm the mother of a nation. Once I have an Instagram account, I got 4,000 followers. I got 2,000 followers. Now you're a mother of a nation. Are you only teaching your people to show up and be boss babes, or are you teaching your people to boss up?
This is so good.
Like, what is the information? What is the value that you add to your space? Like, get real with yourself. Because if you're not adding value, if all you're adding is cool quotes, there's a problem.
And let me put a pin right there. And if you're not posting your real life, that's one of the things I pride myself on. Anything I post, that's my real life. Okay. I'm showing this is me. This is really me. This not something I borrowed from somebody. This is my real life. Right. So that's important. And I think that's why a lot of believers get stuck with the imposter syndrome.
100%. And we all have it. And the more talented you are, the more of an imposter you feel like you are. Like, listen, one of you out here, one of you who's going to watch this later, one of you who's watching it now, listen, you are a New York Times best-selling author, but you keep thinking that you don't know what you know. How do I know? I'm the same person. Come on now. Right? Like another one of you, you are a Grammy award-winning artist, but you keep looking to others to validate your voice. How dare you? For all of us, me included, right? As I minister to you, so do I minister to myself. How dare we? God put such a beautiful trademark, copyrighted awesomeness within each and every one of us. And so when we get dressed, we're not getting dressed for the show, honey. We're getting dressed to give others permission. I walk into the room at my highest self because I desire to give other women the fullest permission to be their highest self. We don't have to match. We don't have to look alike. We don't have to anything. We do have to high five each other because now is the time of the woman. Like, we're coming to the forefront. But what I would love to see is for women to come to the table, their fullest and highest self. Hold space for yourself. Don't expect somebody to give you permission to validate you. You need to know you because you're the bomb.com times 10. If there's a snack pack, boo, you're all the Debbie cakes. Okay. And I mean, from Costco or Sam's Club, like value pack, 24 of them. But in order to get there, you don't it's not that you have to walk around like, oh, I love me. Okay. No. That's how I know that you don't love you, because you have to be like that.
Confidence doesn't produce nastiness.
No,
When you
confidence
are confident,
produces love,
right?
kindness,
That's where I was going with
overflow,
it. Yes.
like a feeling that there's space for all of us. Now, you're still going to have to work past, little negative feelings, negative messages. You're still going to have to work past a little bit of jealousy here and there, but it's for you to all of us actually to be just a little objective, like be cool with stepping back from yourself and saying, man, why do I feel like this toward that person? Like, that's not cool. Like, I wouldn't want them to feel like that towards me. And then when you walk in your fly outfit, it's you walking in your fullest self. Like, this is just an expression of who I am, who I always wanted to be. And when people say in this new season, like, here's another thing for confidence that I need from every single one of you, because some people are going to be like, girl, you changed. And you're going to say, thank you. I've been working so hard. I'm really trying. How can I help you?
That means you see my fruit. Because if I don't change,
Yes.
that's a problem. If I don't
Yes.
change, that means there was no growth. And in
Right.
this season, you got to have growth. And when there's growth, that shows that I'm producing. If I'm producing, then there's a harvest. So there has got to be change. If there is not change, then you are hurting those that are connected to you. It is my responsibility to change so that those that are connected to me, they have to change and they have to grow. So it is so important. And one other thing I want to tie it back to the confidence is that you have to be open to being healed, because a lot of us are not confident because we've been hurt. And we've been hurt by words. We've been hurt by actions. And so you have to be open to be healed. And don't let verbal comments impact you so much that you can't overcome them. So
and don't allow them to become generational curses.
Yes, be open to being healed.
Where there is no change, there is no prosperity, right? Because I can't prosper when I don't challenge myself. I don't prosper in my comfort zone. I prosper in my discomfort zone. I prosper in my discomfort zone. I prosper in the spaces where an advisor or where a mentor, because we should all be being mentored, right?
Absolutely.
Every one of us should be being mentored, right?
You need a mentor and you need a coach.
100%,
it is a necessity.
100%.
You need a mentor and a coach. Absolutely.
Yes, and an appreciation for other people that are in your industry, whether they do what you do or don't do what you do. When you lose being a fan of your industry, when you lose being a fan of who you are and what you have to offer, then we've lost it all. And that's when those words that were said over us when we were 5 and 10 and 15, they then become word curses, and it's real easy to pass those things on to our children. And now that thing is 3 generations in because she's 21 and just had a baby. And now, boom, here we are, right?
Yes.
And so we've got to be real careful in this space. But the biggest thing, that we have to do is remember that it's okay to stretch. It's okay to say ouch. But it doesn't mean that we have to start attacking anybody else. Also, one woman's beauty or genius or greatness doesn't negate our own beauty or genius or greatness. It actually adds to the beauty and the greatness that's in the room. And that is such warmth. And that's where the miracles flow. The miracles flow when there's 10 brilliant people in the room, right? Like not just one person trying to take it over. If you're standing at the top of the stairs shouting to try to get some attention, that's how I know you're the weakest person in here. Because the strongest man in the room is the quietest man in the room. The one who's not making announcements, but is diligently working, is yet seeking, and also is yet seeking the Father, is behind closed doors doing what they must do, right? And then when they adorn themselves, they're bringing it, right? Because they're just quiet, silently working. Now, don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back, when you're a confident person. And I feel like I know that journey because I was a very ego-driven person. And I really had to pray that God would remove my ego and remove every ego entanglement and remove my pride and remove my haughtiness. I don't play about that. Yeah. And when I get near people that I can tell are entangled in that same thing, I take a minute and pray over myself, because it's like, any type of personal addiction that you had, right? Like pride, haughtiness, ego, anything like that, the other person's like struggle because you've been through it yourself. If you struggled with depression, when the person comes in, about that depression. If they struggle with anxiety, your body all of a sudden can feel everything that they went through. You know what I mean? As they're telling the story, like you could go explain it to their loved one better than they could, because your body has felt that heat, has felt the sweat, the tears, the thought process. A friend of mine, actually she's a client of mine, and she has really bad anxiety attacks. And so I was trying to explain to her mom not to touch her, right? To get her to a place where she can shut herself in between something, like the front door, like get right behind the front door, and that pressure alleviates your body trying to find that pressure. And she was like, I just don't know how to help her. And because the young lady was in the middle of it, she can't tell you what's really happening. She's just trying to live. Like my anxiety attacks and panic attacks at one point were so bad that I used to sit on the airplane and think I was going to die. And I used to be like, God, but I had to finally get to the point where I could speak to it, and speak to my body. My dad used to tell me as a kid, he used to be like, you better learn how to speak to that thing. There's a time to pray and there's a time to praise. You better speak to it. And so I would get so bold on the airplane that I would like put my AirPods in and I'd be like, enemy, not today. I have too much promise and I am not yours. I am the child of the Most High King. And when I began to learn how to, put that mind of Christ on, it really helped me. Now, I also got educated about panic attacks, got educated about what causes those attacks for me. But, there's one point where I'm in fetal position at the airport just to go to work, And so I know what it is. And I thank God for those things because they built empathy within me for others and an understanding of love and kindness and joy and what greatness can come out of our struggle.
Yes. Now I need to do a confidence check-in. So after you heard this, what we've given you so far, but now that we got your confidence up, we're going to give you some holiday look ideas, but I need to do a confidence check with the people right now, Liz. Okay.
Yes.
So now, if you are confident after this, of what you have heard, I need you to type in the comments, I am confident. We waiting. Ain't that right, Liz? We waiting.
Yes.
I need you to put in the comments, I am confident. Because we are sharing with you tonight from our authentic self. You are getting fresh oil tonight. You are getting it straight from someone who has lived in the experience. And everything that we're sharing with you tonight is based on our own life's journey. And so our own life's journey has brought us to a place of success, but it didn't bring us here without blood, sweat, and tears, without prayer and praise, without worship, without being connected in ministry, without having, someone in our life to help us navigate this path. So it is our hope tonight. Yes, the I am confidence coming in. So it is our hope tonight that we encourage you, we empower you, because we want you to be confident. We don't care about COVID right now, okay? We want you to be confident, all right? We want you to be confident. Am I right, Liz?
Absolutely.
Listen, we don't care nothing about anything else that's going on in the world right now. We want to make sure that we are staying spiritually strong, spiritually fit, and that we are able to manage our day-to-day life. And that's what's important. We have to have that embedded in our spirit so that when the enemy tries to attack us, we can counterattack it with the word. We can counterattack it with something that we've heard. We can counterattack it with our prayer life and with our praise. So tonight, we want to make sure that we are equipping you. This is the second weekend in a row I've had like a prophetic moment on this show, okay? And I don't know what God is doing because last week was powerful. Last week was the first time I ever well up in tears on my show, Liz. Okay.
Not surprising with Elle.
Listen, when I tell you that I'm so grateful and I am so honored that God is really navigating this path, and he's navigating this path for all of us as we are making our dreams come true with his help. He's elevating us all spiritually so that when people meet us in the marketplace, they're getting fashion, business, and ministry. We 100%. Are catering to the whole person, not just one piece of it. So I'm super happy about that.
I always have to warn people. I'm like, listen, all I know is Jesus. So if you wanted something else, I can tell you all the other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I can quote every source for you from France to Rome, but all I know is the Lord.
So Liz, let's make a transition. Let's talk about some holiday fashion looks.
Oh, okay? I'm here for it.
Women that are confident. But real quick before we do that, I have to give a shout out to Cassandra Durham and the Black Girl Candle Company. So every week I want to shout out a small business owner or entrepreneur who sends me products. So I appreciate you. And this is from the, oh my God, smells good. This is called Honey Bourbon Sunrise.
Ooh.
This is a signature scent from Black Girl Candle Company. And I'll definitely make sure that we put her stuff in in the comment section. So every week, if you are a small business owner and you want me to market your product, you want me to wear your product, please contact my team at info@thebbexperience.com. We'll make sure we definitely give you a shout out. Tonight's necklace is called Masterpiece, and it is available at www.thebbexperience.com. And listen, we are almost down to our last 100 of the mugs. When these mugs go away, they won't be back. So if you haven't got your mug, log on to www.thebbexperience.com. Liz, I have to make sure you get a mug.
I would love that. They're so beautiful.
Yes. So let's talk about holiday looks, all right? Because I'm ready. Listen, first of all, we love sparkle all year round because, I love a glitter and a rhinestone, okay?
Same.
I love a glitter and a rhinestone. Let's talk about holiday looks. I've been pulling looks for my clients and I am just in love. Okay. Love with everything sequence anyway. Okay. But now I'm really ready to hype it up this season, with multicolored sequence. That's the vein I'm going in. So what are you looking at for holiday looks? And yes, Tiffany, you got your mug. So let's talk about holiday looks. Let's give our girls something to work with for the season.
Yes, I'm all about brocade, velvet, and ruffles for the season. I am huge on velvet anyways, but a great velvet. But what I'm really loving for this holiday season, whether it's Thanksgiving or whether it is, the actual like Christmas holidays, is for sure like velvet on velvet looks. Like a lot of the looks that I'm planning for myself and also for clients are velvet on velvet looks. So things like velvet dusters are huge. I love them. I have them in several different colors, but they also look great on every different body type, right? And so thinking about a great duster that's in brocade, that is in velvet, or that has, ruffles. I have one that I actually took the ruffles off of another shirt and put it on to the cuff, to really create.
You're a seamstress on the low.
Listen, well, here's, the biggest thing is like, okay, so like what I have on right now, this was a jacket, but then I just didn't see it that way. Like I saw it as like a vest. So now it's like a duster length vest, basically. And it has all kinds of different like brocades and embellishments, like all over. It has, the back is almost going to be done all in rhinestones. Like I see something in my head. Like I always say that I'm never looking at what somebody else is looking at. Like they're looking at this, and I look at every garment as a suggestion. Like I buy things for the base because I'm going to create something totally different with it. And often like for my clients, like I 100% see something totally different for them. So I always have to create it. So I had to learn how to pin it well. I'm actually taking sewing lessons right now from my aunt, who my grandmother on both sides, on my dad's side and my mom's mother were both quilters, right? And so when you look at their quilts and the beauty of their stitches and the way that they curated the patterns and the color, like I see where it was so obvious that would be in my veins. And so for me, when I see a client or when they start talking to me about their vision, whether it's their book cover or, an album or whatever it is, I just always see something entirely different. And so I'm really blessed because my clients really let me create for them, and they come to me because they want a level of glamour that they've envisioned. And then they're like, wait a minute, I was always her, because I don't ever try to create something that's not there. I want the best version of that. My job, I always feel, is to pull her out. Like that woman you've always been waiting to be. And to me, the holiday season is the perfect time to kind of pull that queen out, and really just rest, rule, and abide as her, And so, a great fabrics like velvet. Now, the other great thing about velvet is that when you're photographed, right, which we often are during the holidays, whether you're talking about holiday parties, and a lot of us have gained quarantine weight, velvet absorbs the camera light, right? Especially black velvet. So that black velvet, because the color black anyways absorbs all of the light. That's why we often look thinner and feel like we look thinner, is because black absorbs all of the light. So black velvet is going to absorb all of the light. So if you're at a holiday party, and you're like, okay, what am I going to wear? Listen, a black velvet maxi dress is perfection.
Absolutely.
Right? huge boom boom earring, you know what I mean? And, get on Etsy, get you a big pin or a few big brooches to cascade down your shoulder. Glamour is back. The Versace show was just a couple of days ago, and they showed spring summer 2021. So what we know right now is glamour is back. It's going to be back through the end of next year. So don't be afraid. If you think like, oh my gosh, this is too much, that means you're on the money. Don't change a thing, right? Absolutely. So for holiday season this year, your rule is if you're like, man, this lipstick is too bright, boom, you're on the money, right?
And add another layer to it.
Right. If you're thinking I've got too many rhinestones on, add 3 more, right?
Yep,
you're on the money. Have some fun with it. And, the only thing I would stay away from this holiday season is lace. Like lace is pretty out right now. So, hug into sequins, hug into velvet to absorb that light and kind of delete the quarantine weight, get into some ruffles, and just really start thinking about how you can be super creative and plan in advance. Also, get on websites like ThreadUp and Poshmark, and look for things. Just type in velvet. And that's what I've been doing. And I have ordered gajillions of things just to have fun with, and some purple velvet. I had never thought about purple velvet. I ordered a purple velvet dress the other day. I want to see what I can do with that. I'm going to cut the bottom off of a different velvet dress and add a different color ruffle to the bottom of the dress just to see, what could happen there, because I just can never, what I want to wear and what's in the store is like never the same thing.
Me too. Me too. And I have to tell you, so of course, we're in my favorite room in the house. Just because you're home does not mean that you can't wear your sparkly heels. Okay.
No, that's the place to break them in.
For the holiday time, especially those of us who bought these red bottoms and you have to be cute and sit down in them. This is the perfect time to wear your red bottoms, your sparkly heels, and also get you a bedazzled headband. All right. The headbands are all the rage this season. So we have given you some good, cute little things you can do at home for holiday, whether or not it's holiday date night or you got a virtual holiday party. Or you just feel like, dressing up for the holidays with you and your family. You can do it all. Now, leave it up to me and Liz. You don't have to have a reason to dress up. Just dress up.
No. Every day is a runway, honey. I don't have time to wait to be fabulous. Like I need to do that every day.
And don't save your clothes while you're in quarantine. Anything you want to wear it.
Yes.
Don't save your clothes.
Yeah. Clothing was meant to be worn, gone are the days of like saving things until the right time or, whatever. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but how often have you saved it, and all of a sudden you realize you've saved it for a year and it has a hole in it. You know what I mean? Because it's been hung a certain way or whatever. I think one thing that COVID and quarantine has taught me is the time is now.
Yes.
Right now, not tomorrow, to where, this fur collar wasn't originally on this jacket. You know what I mean? Just to create, to go further, to have a little bit more fun, to do something a little bit more extreme or extravagant, just because I have breath in my body. So the time is now. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. And I want to be a person who lived every ounce of her potential. I don't want to be in that 90% of people that leave having only used 10% of their actual potential. Right? Potential means I haven't moved, means I haven't done anything, means that nothing has come to pass because I've been sitting there waiting. And so the time is now. If you guys have been waiting on somebody to give you permission to go forth and be fabulous, darling, you were born for such a time as this. Kill it. Yeah.
Now you have to execute now. For all my creatives that are on here tonight, you have to execute. You can no longer wait till you get a website. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. And the longer that we say, oh, I'll do it when I get this done, or I'll do it when I get this done, you keep pushing yourself further and further behind. And so you just have to start. Whether it is writing a book, whether or not it is creating a business, start doing your market research. Sit with the idea and start with it. All right. So we got 10 minutes left. So me and Liz are taking questions now. All right. Yesenia, thank you for joining. Mary, I know you got your mug. Tiffany got your mug. Listen, Liz. Wait a minute, Liz. I said on one of my captions, I said, now, if I get enough people on here tonight, we're going to ask Liz to teach us how to do the pageant wave. Okay. So if y'all want Liz to teach us how to do the pageant wave, somebody type in the comments pageant wave. If we get 5 people that say pageant wave, Liz, you got to give us a tutorial.
I'm here for
how to do the pageant wave. Okay. Look, I'm getting my Wendy Williams talk show host on. Okay. I don't have a purple chair. I got a green chair. My cushion is green. But listen, so now I'm in full-fledged talk show host mode, okay?
I'm here for it.
So if y'all want Liz, while you're getting your questions together, to teach us how to do the pageant wave, because I just get, listen, I just get so sucked in when I see them doing the pageant wave on stage, answering questions. Like, I'm just like, what are they thinking? You know, are they going to say, I just want world peace? Like, I'm thinking about. Liz, the comments are coming in. Pageant wave, pageant wave. We need 2 more people to say pageant wave, and Liz is going to teach us how to do the pageant wave while you get your questions together. All right. I'm sure, Liz, it's an art to it, right?
Oh, there's an art to everything. I now realize, like, there's nothing in life that there's not an art to. I really feel like.
Yes. All right, y'all. I need 2 more people. Oh, the pageant is coming in. All right, Liz, we got enough people. Teach us, first of all, tell us about the pageant wave and then teach us how to do it. Okay.
Well, the pageant wave really, I mean, there's 2 places that you use it mostly. So that's on stage, after you've won your title, or, after you've done, I forget what the name of it is, but anyways, it's like when you have like group judging, basically, right? So they'll be like, and these are your top 5. You use it then, and then you also use it in parades, and really it saves your arm and helps you not look sloppy, right? Because there's a power of impression in everything that we do, which is why we adorn ourselves a certain way for our jobs, and that whole thing it feeds right into personal brand. So one of the things that you do is you make sure that everything comes from the elbow, right?
And y'all make sure you get your elbow up. Get your elbow up.
Your elbow, wrist. So elbow, wrist. And so like when you're on the car, you turn this way to wave to these people, wrist. And you turn this way to wave to these people, wrist. And you try to save one arm, because after a while, like after probably a mile, you're going to need the other arm to do this. So yeah, there's a method to it. There's a method to every ounce of madness.
Listen. I hope y'all got your pageant wave. All right, Liz, do it. Demonstrate it for us one more time, Liz.
So elbow, wrist, and elbow, wrist.
I'm here for all of this, Liz. Listen, this is a whole vibe tonight, okay?
Yes.
All of it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes left. Get your questions together. So me and Liz are taking questions. If you have questions about confidence, you have questions about getting your holiday looks together, or if you have a question for Liz about the pageant wave, all right? Those are the 3 things we're taking questions on tonight. So get your questions ready for us. Oh my God, Liz, listen, I knew tonight was going to be something else. Okay, I already knew that. This is like amazing. I'm so glad that our schedules aligned for you to be here tonight. Like, I just can't wait till we're back together in New York Fashion Week. I just can't wait.
Same. Yeah, I'm so honored. I'm really just so honored that you asked me, and just to be a part of your rise. I love what you're doing. And I just think that it's so awesome for you to continue to be confident and continue to work on it. People want to go with our brands wherever they go. And that's the important thing, is for us to really just go for it and go with it, and make it happen.
So Liz, one question we have is, what can we expect from the Liz Everett brand in 2020, the last quarter?
Well, in the last quarter, I'm doing a lot of planning and preparing to make sure that my next 5 years is really tight. But I also am now the style contributor for Mocha in the Morning, which is a morning show out of Florida, out of St. Petersburg, Florida. So I am so blessed, because thank God for COVID, I don't have to be home in Florida to do everything, because I'm doing a lot of traveling. And what you can also expect from me is I'm really working into, I just started a new business called Everett Consulting International.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I wind up doing a lot of image consulting and a lot of advisement on visual brand and those kind of things. I start in people's closets and wind up in their homes and their etiquette and the whole 9, which has been such a blessing. So Everett Consulting International really is focused on people's image, focused on helping people level up, and really focused on helping make people's dreams come true. There's so many parts to making a dream come true. And so allowing that their visual to support what's happening is really important to me, because we work so hard on our dream, on our brand, on our vision, on our vibe, and then to struggle with it and not be able to enjoy it. It kills the whole vibe of, what you've struggled so hard for. So I'm really grateful to have that opportunity. And then I have a couple of classes that I'm writing right now that'll be coming out next year. So, the whole thing is just a really huge journey for me. And I'm just excited to see where God takes me.
I love it. So Liz, can you tell my CEOs how they can find you? Where can they find you? Your social media handles?
Absolutely. You can follow at I am Liz Everett and at Liz Everett Style. And you can also follow my blog. My style bestie, Stephanie, and I have a blog called Style It Factor.
And it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so much fun. It's a labor of love, and we so enjoy it. We've been so blessed. We got a shoe campaign recently as well. So we're so excited about it. And we're just trying to we wanted a place to help women feel confident, and we really believe in fashion for all. And we really believe that it's not about your size, it's about your rise, it's about you taking that moment, whether you're a size 18 or 26, 14, 2, a 00, and being like, I'm here and I'm ready. And, that's what we focus on, is just really being very true to ourselves. So you can follow that at Style It Factor, and at styleitfactor.com. We post, have new blog posts 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 p.m. And then we also have a Facebook group, Style It Factor VIP.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been so much fun. I mean, y'all have hung out with us for the entire hour, and it has been absolutely amazing. Liz, listen, I already knew tonight was going to be fire. This is the second week that God has really just spoke through, Coffee with Bridgett, and I am just like speechless right now. I'm speechless. So I have great expectation for what's to come. And I am so happy to call you my fashion sister. And I am so happy about the things that God is blessing you with, and the opportunities and the doors that are opening. Just know that your other sister here in Pennsylvania is cheering you on. I got my pop.
Oh, thank you.
Listen, I'm saying do it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And so for all of you who watched us and who stayed with us the entire hour, we want to say thank you. We hope that we've said something tonight to encourage you, to give you that next level of confidence. We want you to be empowered. We don't want you to stay in the same place. We want you to experience growth. And most importantly, we want you to be at peace, because if you are not at peace with yourself, then that's a problem. So tonight, we hope you have fun with us tonight. So Liz, at the end of every episode, we cheers, okay? You got
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, make sure you join me back here next Thursday night at 7:00 p.m. And this has been another amazing episode of Coffee with Bridgett. Cheers.
Cheers.